We'll see what
Seoul
the
now
two teams
discussing their
have
first
prepared
ban.
here. Wonder if Los Riddlers will try to, if they did enough scouting, if they're going to look for that Diana banner, or if they have an answer to it, maybe they're not too worried. Diana, a champion that is seen as a somewhat weak laner to blind, so maybe they feel okay with leaving it open.
Yeah, Soloniton definitely doing their scouting. Los Riddlers played the Jace, rushed Hullbreaker, and that Jace in the top lane was absolutely untouchable last game.
Yeah, definitely an interesting Jace build. Kind of going for like a little mix, not necessarily the traditional Jace build, but not really the tank Jace build either. Seemed like he found the best of both worlds. He couldn't be killed. He was doing a lot of turret damage.
Mm-hmm. The Nico ban, I wonder if that's a target ban. I don't think Nico's seen too much presence in this tournament.
I can't remember what Ruin played last game. Maybe pulled out the Nico. I can't remember off the top
It
of my
might have
head.
been the Ziggs ban. So now 2/3 of Riddler's champions that they've played last game are banned. We'll see if it's rounded out.
Yeah, Soul 10 maybe just looking to force Los Riddlers to play anything else.
Yeah, and the Talia ban. I've been surprised that she hasn't had super high priority. You can put Smite on her and play her as a jungler, and her passive lets her get from lane to lane quickly, and the ult is a semi-global.
Yeah, and also notably, this is the second Talia ban that we've seen against Soul 10 specifically, so somebody on that team, or multiple people, must play that champion pretty well.
Hmm. And set ban against Los Riddlers. If anyone cares to OPGG their opponents, I believe Turkey has a very high set priority. I think it's about 50% of his recent games, so not surprising to see that one removed.
Yes, we're not seeing, yeah, and the Diana bans, we're not seeing
There it is.
any tournament meta-specific bans. We're just seeing a whole lot of target bans. We'll see how that pays off. A lot of the power pick split pushers still up. All of the late game control mage scalers still up. All of the strategies that we've seen be dominant, they are up and available. But of course, neither of these teams have played those before, so this will be a big test for them. And as I say it,
Anivia.
we have the Anivia hover. This is the first Anivia lock-in we have in the official tournament, but in testing, Anivia was pick or ban. This was determined to be a very strong champion. We'll see if Soul and Tin can ride the Anivia hype train.
Yeah, your ability to sit there in whichever lane you choose and just throw down that blizzard, absolutely destroying all of the minions. Very good wave clear. Xerath in response. And Xerath works as a great lane counter to Anivia. She absolutely cannot touch you with your long range abilities.
Yeah, really good counter pick if they figure out a way to match the Xerath into the Anivia. A Yuumi hover right now would be a very interesting lock-in. Yuumi can struggle early game, but if their third pick is a high octane champion such as a Hecarim or Gwen, maybe they could just be looking for teamfight dominance. But no, they will swap over to the
Switched into the
Scion
Scion.
lock-in.
And this is something Los Riddlers played last game. They found varying levels of success. Scion was put into a Trundle, which was a pretty hard counter for it, but he was able to scale and really start improving as the game went on. That ultimate allowing him to run between lanes can create some pretty good gank angles too.
Yeah, speaking of Trundle, Trundle is still up and available, but the Sejuani lock-in may be inspired by what we were saying prior to the game. Maybe they'll be going that Poro Rider Sejuani to prove to me that it's a better skin than Hextech. It is not. But let's see what this last lock-in is going to be.
It might not be a better skin, but I don't think you could argue it's a bit of a cuter skin.
For sure, for sure. It depends. It depends on how you think the Poro is being treated. After all, Sejuani does have that Bola. Could be using it to do not so nice things to the Poro. Depends. It's up for interpretation.
True. Viego lock-in is interesting. I think either Viego or Sejuani could pick up Smite in a jungle pet if they chose to, which would be pretty interesting to see.
Yeah, also notably Sejuani and Viego having some nice synergy with the double melee attacks to stack that Sejuani passive. And another reason
Yeah,
to pick up the Viego is that they were lacking a little bit of physical damage before, so a decent champion to round out their team comp.
Renekton, and I think that's a great pick. Viego and Sejuani both want to go into you. Renekton with the W with the ultimate, very happy to have champions dive on top of him.
Yeah, Renekton also going to be pretty happy to see any of the lane matchups that aren't named Anivia, so
Yeah, but once he gets an item or two, he should be able to play pretty well into the Anivia. She is a very low mobility, and with his E recast, he can be able to get on top of her and shut her down pretty quickly. I think one of the biggest things that Soloniton has going for him is just every single one of their champions has at least one, if not two, CC abilities. Both teams very CC heavy between all of Sion's abilities, Xerath E, I believe, and Renekton W. They all have some form of stun, but the Viego and Sejuani, with Sejuani's passive, Sejuani ult, Anivia QE, very good CC control.
Yeah, now in terms of lane matchups, I feel like we live in a world where the entire game could be decided by what those starting lane matchups are. I think if Los Riddlers manage to get the Xerath into the Anivia, they will be pretty happy. The Sion and the Renekton can deal with the Sejuani or the Viego. On the flip side, if the Anivia can find one of those melee champions, she'll be able to go through the game unscathed. And Sejuani and Viego, definitely champions who are a little bit better suited to deal with Xerath, in my opinion. Sejuani having very high base damage and mobility, and then Viego having a lot of sustain from his passive on the minions.
Yeah, I think the absolute nightmare matchup for Los Riddlers is if Anivia gets matched up into the Sion. Anytime he tries to channel his Q, she can just Q him, cancel it, and then if she has E up, then he will be just taking absolute chunks of damage pretty much anytime he tries to do anything. But as long as they can avoid that matchup, I think they should be able to get out of the early game pretty successfully.
Yeah, no, also something interesting to note is that neither of these teams are phenomenal at split pushing. Now, we could see that the Scion could go more AD-centric build. The Scion could go for Demolish, and at that point, we may be seeing a replica of some of your solo queue games, where you have that one guy who locks in Scion on your team. He goes 0-16, but is at the Nexus by the 18-minute mark.
Mm-hmm. Hey, if Faust is making it work in pro play, I can make it work in my solo queue games.
But the question is if you can make it work in a 3v3. We haven't really seen Scion have that much success because it turns out that when you're stuck in lane, there are just other champions who can split push a little bit better, like the Trundle New York. But both of those aforementioned champions slipped through the draft. We're not seeing them. So Scion finds himself in an unusual position where he actually is the best split pushing champion in the game.
Yeah, if Viego doesn't go jungle, I could maybe see a world where possibly second item, maybe third if the game is able to go that long, he could look for the Hullbreaker. But I don't think that's a priority item for him, even in this type of tournament. I've been a bit surprised at the lack of proxy attempts with no jungler and only really one roamer from the mid lane able to come surprise you. I'm surprised nobody's really tried playing between the turrets after minute 2.
Yeah, it can be a little bit difficult to set up those proxies. The only way that you can set up the proxies is if you get prio on those first few waves, then you can walk past the turret.
Yeah, most champs that rely on proxying do not get prio. That's why they proxy.
Yeah, they're the rare exceptions. In my opinion, Kane is pretty good at that. Can take control of the wave early, levels 1 and 2,
Sure.
and then look to proxy on wave
And
3. But a lot of the other
even if
proxy
they try-
champions, like Sion and Singed, can definitely struggle to get that wave under turret early.
Mm-hmm. We do see the smite coming out for the Sejuani.
Yeah, and this is the second time that Soul in a Tin has taken that smite setup. Also interesting, Soul in a Tin has decided to go for the singular teleport, feeling a little bit confident, and decided to go for some more laning runes. The Sejuani taking the Flash, and the Viego taking the Flash Ignite.
Yeah, whoever's matched up into the Viego is going to have to be careful. He's absolutely going to be looking for blood. Only 3 possible demolishes. Sejuani looked like she was packing it. I'm sure the Scion will be. There it is. And Renekton not. Bone plating and unflinching.
Yeah, in my opinion, Unflinching is maybe the most garbage rune released of all time. I'm not so sure about that one, but
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a bait. When you look at the CC, I can understand why you would want to go for it, but I just don't necessarily agree.
yeah, even in late game, it only scales up to 10 armor and 10 magic resist. Like at that point, you could just go conditioning.
Mm-hmm. But Riddlers looking like they're going to get some favorable lane matchups. Renekton into Sejuani top. The Xerath does get the Anivia matchup mid, and Scion Viego bot. So a bruiser into a tank in 2 lanes. I guess Viego's more of a duelist, but have to see if he can outdamage that Scion.
Yeah, also a pretty good sign that the best player on Soul in a Tin, Happier Cat, stuck into the Scion. Something that can happen, especially when you're playing champions with poor wave clear like Viego, is that even if you manage to kill the Scion over and over again, you can never really find an advantage in the lane because the Scion passive can clear that wave. I've certainly struggled with that before. In my days playing Elise top, a champion who is strong in lane but has bad wave clear, I would match up into a Scion, kill him like 6 or 7 times, but make absolutely no progress in the game because I just can't get that wave shoved.
Yeah, that'll definitely be something. I wonder if Viego will take the path of the Fiora we saw earlier and go for a Hydra first item to try and really get that wave clear up.
I feel like most times if Viegos want to get any kind of healing, they go the Asunder Sky, and if they want any kind of wave clear, they opt for the Titanic Hydra, because Viego has an interesting interaction with Titanic Hydra. He actually just gets random bonus damage because of the way that his passive works.
Top wave already being shoved under turret, the other two still stuck in the mid wave. Anivia with a bit of push. Not much of a damage lead anywhere.
Yeah, and speaking of that proxying that you were mentioning, Turkey going to go for that early proxy after getting some of those, getting that early push.
Yeah, with his E, he has good escapability. He can just jump over a wall. Anivia's slow to rotate, and Sejuani I don't think does the damage to threaten him, so clears it out that way, and Sejuani now forced to tank up the entire wave. He's going to stay between the turrets.
Yeah, now of course though, the question is, what does this really accomplish? I mean, unless he's planning on clearing the wave and then rotating mid lane for a play, because Renekton, it's not the type of champion who's a very good jungle clear, especially not if he's not going to have that smite. So can't really move in for the jungle camps. Going to be tough for him to move mid.
Trading abilities, and the Anivia passive being burned, that could be huge for Soul. Renekton channeling a back, presumably in the brush.
Yeah, but now here's the question: is that the Anivia passive may be down, but look at that massive health advantage. Yeah, and
there's
Soul
the
will
first
get
blood
the first
coming out.
blood.
I think Xerath playing a little bit disrespectfully there, and with that huge wave stacked up, he's going to have to teleport as soon as he respawns if he doesn't want to lose too much. And here comes the teleport.
Yeah, so far you got to be pretty happy if you're Soul in a tin, even though you got the lane matchups that you did not want to see, able to get through the first 4 minutes with a 600 gold lead.
Yeah, and losing that Anivia passive doesn't feel too bad. You're up a level, you're up a little bit of gold. Not up a level anymore, but certainly a big experience lead.
Now I gotta say, if I was Los Riddlers, I would have it in my mind to maybe try to find a window to swap the Renekton and the Scion. I feel like the Viego already having a decent advantage against the Scion. If you can put the Renekton into the Viego, I think at level 6, Viego won't have very much answer for that Dominus. Whereas the Scion and the Sejuani could just very easily handshake the lane. I would imagine that's going to be easier for Viego to get an advantage against the Scion than it would be for the Renekton to find an extra advantage against this tank.
Sure, Renekton going all in. Sejuani able to freeze him and E away. Renekton at about half HP, but able to heal up with the W. And Anivia taking a bit of a bad trade. It seems like if Anivia goes for the stun, the minute it wears off, 3 He's and a Ha is able to use his own stun to get back and then drop all of his skill shots on top of her. Not a whole lot of ground really being made there.
Yeah, and now Anivia though does need to maybe look for a reset with the health bar like that and no passive. Has a lot of the mana bar to work with, but if they could get the reset and then maybe TV back, it would be preferable.
Yeah, and Scion, what great all-in from Happier Cat there under the turret. Just EQ, ultimate. I believe the Ignite was burned too. Flash and Ignite burned, which could be something to keep an eye on. Scion does still have his Flash, but just no way to respond, and using the passive to drop turret aggro and run out with that Scion health pool.
Yeah, and Scion actually choosing not to TP back, sees that the Viego is not pushing and is willing to just sack those 5 minions to hold on to the Summoner spell.
It could be worthwhile. We'll have to see. Anivia hitting 6 now, and that's getting the first level of that ultimate up for her is great. Being put mid-wave, she's pretty much permanently going to have priority now. And Sejuani was pinging the Void Grub. Since she's the only champion with Smite, it could be something that Soul wants to look for.
Yeah, gonna be a little bit tough if they want to get the Void Grubs with the Sejuani. They're gonna have to bail her out, send some attention top lane, because this Renekton has had push for the entire game.
Yeah, he's up a level now. He's just free hitting turret, able to E out. But Happier Cat with a roam now, and forces the flash at a 3 He's and a Ha. Definitely necessary. If that Viego stun hit, I think he just gets one shot like the Scion. Speaking of Scion, able to take the better part of a turret plate. Not able to get the full thing though. Bit scared of the Viego roaming back down. He's going to have to back out from under that.
Ooh, nice stun from
Sejuani all
Anivia.
out. Soul, good wall, good blizzard, and another kill for Soul in the mid lane. Sion forced to flash away from the Viego bot lane. And it looks like Anivia was able to burn the Xerath flash as well.
Yeah, the fact that Anivia is able to get the better of Xerath in this lane matchup is absolutely huge for Soul Limited. That was going to be a point of pressure for Los Riddlers, but if Anivia is going to be able to get pushed like this, they'll have control of pretty much all the objectives.
Yeah. Just setting up a ward, I thought they were going to start the grubs, but it looks like Anivia is going to move back towards mid, and Sejuani is going to take her base.
Yeah, the waves aren't necessarily in a great spot. If they had gone for the grubs, Sion and Renekton both would have been able to take some side plates. Maybe they decided it wasn't worth it. But speaking of Sion going for some plates, Viego coming up the flank might be looking at kill number 2 here.
Yeah, I think he can just walk down Sion. Sion should have ult, but I don't know if he has the mana for it. The R forward, Q, W, and I think Viego just runs Sion down. One more auto, one more ability of any kind will do it. A good sidestep, but all for naught in the end. And Sion maybe should have stayed with the wave. Being in the jungle with passive, I don't think he's going to get much done. Yeah, it dies to red buff, it looks like.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking something similar. Wait, did he manage to...
Would it stay on him if he killed it in passive?
Okay, he didn't manage to take it, but
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like no. Wait, I believe it does. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Los Riddlers going for a Void Grub start.
Interesting,
And
Xerath
going
Q.
to fall off the grubs, it looks like. Happier Cat very far ahead now, taking some jungle camps. And it's a level up for the Anivia and the Xerath, a level up for the Viego into the Sion. Turkey does have a 1-level lead over the Sejuani, but with how strong the Anivia and the Viego are at this point, I don't know how much that'll matter. He hasn't been able to build much of a gold lead at all. The CS is very much in his favor, but even more so in Viego's.
Yeah, Renekton's sitting on 2k gold right now. I still feel like it's not too late for the Renekton to beat the Viego in the 1v1, depending on what Renekton resets here with, obviously. If Renekton, with sitting on that 2200 gold, does have a completed item, I believe he could still beat the Viego in the 1v1 with the Dominus. But if they let this Viego go unchecked for too long, eventually he's just going to take over the entire game.
Yeah, 3 turret plates to his name, though. And he is not going to back. He's going to, looks like sit, let the Sejuani back, and maybe try and push this wave in. No,
yeah, I would have to
cancels her
imagine the
back.
only reason why he would stick around is because he's trying to greed out that last little bit of gold for his first item.
Yeah. Happier Cat with a great trade onto the Sion, forcing him back. And this is something that the Sion struggled with in Los Riddlers' last matches, not being able to get good backs. He is dodged, auto Q, ignite, ticking, Sion goes down, Happier Cat able to just walk away from the turret, and that's a 3rd kill onto the Sion for the Viego. Zombie mode Sion not going to be able to get anything accomplished.
Yeah, now with the Sion having no TP, no ult, if Happier Cat wanted, they could stick around, try to get some of these plays. Could also just look for the tempo reset. I think that either would be a fine play.
Yeah, Happier Cat looks like they are sticking around for some of those plates. They should be able to get 1, maybe even 2. And Soul was able to take 1 Void Grub, so that damage over time onto the turret is going to start adding up.
Yeah, it also means that even if Los Riddlers can use the Renekton Prio to get the Void Grubs, they won't receive the progress towards the Feat of Strength.
Yup, and Happier Cat activating stealth, walking away. Sion gonna try and walk them down. I don't know if this is the greatest idea. Nothing will come of it. Happier just able to walk away. Renekton getting a 4th plate in the top lane, keeping that turret shoved up. Sejuani comes in and the ult goes just wide, able to get the slow but not the stun.
Yeah, Renekton with this Eclipse completed is going to need to start figuring out a way to find a meaningful advantage.
Yeah, Scion working under the turret now. Let's see if that is able to bring anything. I think you might want to start backing away. I don't think greeting for this plate is the move. 1v1ing top lane, but the Anivia's here. Turkey hits the E, able to EA2 away.
Yeah, you would have
Both
hoped
top
that you had the
laners at half
Sejuani ult there. Maybe using the Sejuani ult on the Renekton under the turret. Stinging a little bit. Hitting the ult there would have meant that he would have died to Anivia.
Yeah, going airborne, forcing the Dominus out. Sejuani stunned up. Stuns going both ways. Renekton able to get the kill. Very low HP though, so gonna shove that wave in, and I think Renekton's gonna look for the turret first blood. Sol with a great trade onto 3 keys in the mid lane. The wall coming up. Viego there forcing the Xerath far away.
Yeah, I think forcing the Dominus out may have been a little bit of an optimistic take. I think Sejuani just underestimated the amount of power that Renekton has when he clicks R, and Renekton was able to take advantage. But with the Viego roaming top, Scion's going to be able to take a 4th plate in this turret as well. So kill lead and a slight gold lead for Sol and a Tin. But in terms of map pressure, definitely going to be favoring Los Riddlers.
Yeah, the gold lead isn't as bad as it looks. I think most of it is going to be on to the Renekton, and so it'll really probably come down to Turkey being able to kind of carry his teammates a little bit. And Sol and a Tin opting for the swap we've been talking about, sending the Viego top into the Renekton and putting Sejuani into the Scion. See if this helps balance out anything at all.
Yeah, but check this out. Renekton actually has a gold lead over the Viego right now.
Yeah, a little bit. We'll see if he can use it now that they've opted into this matchup. I think Kraken Slayer is probably better in drawn-out engagements, but both champions having Conqueror, and the Eclipse certainly isn't a weak item either.
Yeah, the Renekton, the much stronger 1v1 champion. However, I think this could be the difference maker, is that Viego has the plated steel caps going to be strong against Renekton, whereas Renekton opted for the Merc Treads to counter Sejuani. If they go for 1v1, that could be the difference that Viego needs to win out.
Absolutely. 3 He's and a Ha stunned up, forced to flash, and with absolutely no mana, gonna have to take a back here. This is a pretty decent back timer with the waves only at the inhibitor turret, and him having teleport. He shouldn't miss too much.
It looks like Happier Cat able to shove out the wave, grabbing 1 more Void Grub. That puts them at 2 now.
Yep. And teleport in, QE, wall goes up. Blizzard is canceled by the stun coming up from 3 He's and a Ha. Barely able to walk away. A bit lucky there, I think.
Yeah, Anivia is starting to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, once she can get some of those burn items completed, looks like she has the, what is that, the Blackfire?
Malignance right now.
She has the Malignance. Xerath opting for the Hex Tech. So good burst damage, but not the sustain that the Anivia has.
Yeah, you can tell that this Renekton really wants to take down this turret. Gonna try to go for a hard push with the cannon wave. Probably just brute force the turret. Let's see if Viego can stop this from going down.
Yep. He's just gonna walk in. Renekton needs a turret shot. Flash and Ignite for the Viego. Both ultimates popped. Renekton able to get it in the 1v1. The stun plus W. And he will now be able to push in for that turret. Collects it now. Scion 1v1ing the Sejuani pretty successfully. The E allowing her to escape. But Scion's going to one-shot this wave, and he might just walk under there. Yeah, he'll walk under the turret. Sejuani doing some damage. Scion just looking for some turret damage. He's not going to be interested in the fight. Almost completely takes out the turret on a quarter HP. And did Sejuani just flash forward for that kill?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But yeah, Happier
Sejuani
Cat
flashes.
falling for the trap that I was worried she might fall for, not realizing how strong Renekton is in 1v1s with that ultimate. Renekton was able to win out on that one, got the big shutdown, got the turret, and was able to get out both of Happier Cat's summoner spells as they aggressively went forward, thinking they could get the kill.
Yeah, and Scion really putting that passive to good use. I think a bit of an unforced flash coming out from Ruin, but in death able to pick up the turret, and hitting the wave allows it to start pushing into Ruin as well, forcing an immediate response.
Now,
Now,
although it may seem like Los Riddlers have turned this game around a bit, getting those 2 turrets, the thing with the Nivea is that the closer and closer you get to the base, the harder it becomes to push against the Nivea, who can just start walking in between the waves, permanently clearing the waves with that ultimate. Really, the only way to get rid of the Nivea is if she makes a big mistake and dies, or if you have the Baron buff, but we have yet to see even a single Baron be taken down this entire tournament.
Yeah, Ruin probably going to be able to just, yep, with that Scion Q missing, Ruin just walking under turret, taking it out, and now it's 1-1 in the bot lane, still an advantage on the turret in the top lane. And 3 He's and Aha has been suffering a little bit in this Anivia matchup, a lot more turret damage done in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, it looks like Los Riddlers have definitely been prioritizing trying to take down those structures.
Ruin sort of lying in wait, starting to make their way down back towards the bot lane. Scion showing on the wave.
Yeah, 3 and Ha's gonna have to be careful here. He's walking over vision, and it looks like Viego and Nivea thought about moving over to kill him. Let's see what happens here.
Yep, Anivia hits the QE. I don't think he doesn't know Viego's there. He's gonna walk back into it. Viego E, QW, and the ult should get the kill. Just an auto attack, not even needing to use the ult from the Viego.
Yeah, so good vision coming out from Soul in the Tin, and a good rotation from Happier Cat to secure that kill. They're gonna get the mid turret off of this as well.
Yeah, 2 tanks beating each other in the bot lane. Almost able to get the stun out, but Scion able to ult away, and he will not crash it into the Anivia, but he will knock out the entirety of that wave.
Yeah, we'll protect the turret as well. It's pretty nice.
Ruin taking this time to start attacking that Cloud Drake.
Yeah, but at some point you have to wonder, I mean, like, we're 18 minutes into the game, you're level 12, you have the Sunfire completed. When do you sell that Doran Shield and buy the Jungle Pet?
Yeah, Smite's a good summoner spell, but only once it gets upgraded. And upgrading it with the Jungle Pet allows it to be used as a combat spell. The Jungle Pet providing various buffs depending on which one you buy.
Yeah, but most importantly, you can see the Cloud Drake just did 2/3 of Sejuani's HP as she tried to take that. The Cloud Drake, the one that has the lowest DPS, doing that much damage to Sejuani because without the healing that you get from the Jungle Pet, it can be really hard to take those objectives.
Yeah, Happier Cat in a bit of a pinch here. Big Fat Turkey with 3 He's and Aha, trading stuns under the turret, able to walk out of the ultimate. Happier Cat stuck under the turret, and Turkey will be able to collect the last hit for a kill. And Hullbreaker completed. That's 2 items on Big Fat Turkey. I don't know if anyone can fight him in a side lane now. Clearly he has the one up on the Viego, and with Hullbreaker, if he's in isolation, he will be an absolute monster to deal with.
Yeah, Viego opting for the shield bow, which of course will be nice in terms of wanting to get that extra damage out. But Renekton's not scared of any shields because he can break that instantly with his empowered W. So maybe not the best item that the Viego could have gone. I will be interested to see how they'll be able to tackle this Renekton.
Yeah, tackling Anivia coming in behind, and there's the E through the Anivia, another E away. Xerath finally able to pick up that mid-tier 1 with Anivia on the roam. Viego going to respond, Xerath going to get a little bit of damage onto the tier 2, but Xerath auto attacks are not the most impactful, so only about a quarter of that turret's down. Turkey just chews through these waves now.
Yeah, 3 He's and a Hog gonna have to pay respects to the Viego. I think anytime that you see the Xerath into that Viego matchup, you have to be careful about Viego just clicking R and going for the one-shot.
Yes, flash force from the Scion, but buffering the Sejuani ult with his own, he's able to run away and not lose very much. Sejuani looks like she might be attempting to roam towards the mid lane. It's just the Xerath there. But no ult in Sejuani, she's lost her only real long-range engage, and they don't have the minions to look for a dive. Just going to go towards the top side. We could be looking at a Rift Herald attempt.
Yeah, but if Anivia crosses over, they're going to definitely know this is happening because of that far side that's there. Let's see if Red Tide does anything about this. They do have the TP on Scion and the Renekton there. No, looks like they're just going to give it up.
No. Xerath just going to push down his lane. Now he needs to be careful. A questionable TP from the Scion. And Xerath will escape, crashing that wave. That wave will take the turret down to about half HP. Viego comes in to clean it up, and looks like Sion and Xerath are going to join forces and probably attempt to bully down this tier 2. Yeah, red side's pinging it now.
They have vision on Happier
Viego,
Cat. Farsight spotting her out.
They do. Viego roaming down, stun onto Ruin. Sion Q slowing down the Viego. Viego going to flash E onto the Xerath, flash away from the ultimate. More flashes burned, and Sejuani able to flash, get the kill, teleport in from Big Fat Turkey though, and this could be trouble. Flashes himself onto the Viego. Viego's down. Atacon has been aggroed and is starting to put out some damage. Now a 2v2 in the bot lane. Sion stunned up inside the Blizzard. Eing forward, looking for the Anivia, ultimately forced back, and Los Riddlers on the retreat. Sion just missing his bush Q.
Yeah, Soul on the 10 might have to be careful here. If they manage to die, this could signal potentially even a game end. But the fight extending a while. Sion ditched with the ultimate instead of going back in for the knock-up. And now, even if they had managed to win that fight, Viego respawning. Interesting start of
Starting the Atacon.
Atacon. Maybe thinking that Nivea has the damage. We'll see we'll see if she does. Ran out of mana. They probably can't do this.
No, it's not looking like it. Atacon doing a lot of damage to the Sejuani, and Anivia going to use the wall to prevent it and walk away.
Yeah, that being said, the Anivia did do about a third of that thing's HP with a low mana bar, and the Viego is playing the more crit high damage build. So I believe that these are the types of champions who could kill Atacon if they find a window to do it.
Absolutely, and if you can get Sejuani to be the one that's primarily taking the damage, even without the jungle pet, she's easily the tankiest member on the team, and I believe Atacon says whoever he is attacking, they deal less damage to him, and Sejuani doesn't do much damage anyway, so you're not losing much if she has the debuffs put onto her.
Yeah, also, as the tournament has been progressing, we've been seeing more and more people realize exactly how Atacon does damage. When it's the voracious Atacon that spawns, which is the one that's going to be spawning in most of these 3v3 low-kill games, it spawns a little ring on the inside of it, and you take significantly increased damage inside of the ring, but not very much out of it. So people are finally learning to kite outside of the circle, meaning that Atacon poses much less of a damage threat.
Yeah, at that point it just becomes, he's so tanky, and with only 3 members, you won't necessarily have all of the damage that you need to do it. You can see that Anivia Blizzard allowing for some incredible control of the mid lane wave. Ruin on the red buff does have the smite, smites it away. Sion Q lands and does no damage. Xerath ultimate coming out.
Yeah, probably not a terrible idea to just chuck out the ultimate whenever you have the chance, because with the amount of dive that Soul on the 10 has with the Xerath and Viego, it's been pretty tough for Xerath, or with the Viego and Sejuani, it's been pretty tough for Xerath to pop his ultimate in fights at all.
Yeah, and we're seeing a group mid, which, not great. Trying to run it down into an Anivia. She can just throw down the Blizzard, annihilate your wave, and the Hullbreaker gets much weaker when grouped with your teammates. So Renekton resetting, he might try and run out through top lane. That turret is very low. The bot lane turret is very low, but that wave is very far pushed back.
Yeah, Los Riddlers,
top lane is still at the tier 1.
Los Riddlers is going to have to do some thinking, because exactly what I feared might happen has happened, which is that they may have taken all of those tier 1 outers relatively quickly, but because Anivia can just walk between these waves and permanently clear them quickly, the game has entirely stalled. We are now 26 minutes in, and not another turret has been taken for Los Riddlers.
Yeah, ultimate coming out from the Sejuani. W goes wide, Renekton E forward, uses the Q. I don't know if he'll have the damage, but the Rift Herald, I completely forgot that Soul and a 10 had managed to get that, but they use it to take the tier 1. Herald is still alive, and Anivia could consider piloting it.
Ooh, really nice flash from the Sion to protect the Xerath from the Viego stun.
And a second charge from the Herald. That really hurts to see. Teleport in from Renekton, but Soul and 10's just out of there. They get the turret, they back off. Building themselves up to almost a 2k gold lead.
Yeah, we still live in a world where the Renekton could easily beat the Viego in a 1v1 if they match each other, but they can't seem to find the map rotations that they need, and in the meantime, Sejuani and Anivia both getting stronger and stronger. They both completed their second items at this point.
Yeah, and Sejuani getting all of that solo turret gold in the top lane. Now 3 turrets to 3 turrets. The advantage Los Riddlers had was their map play had been much better, and they do still have more damage, but even on total turret count.
Yeah, Renekton still has the
Damage
most
doesn't
gold,
even
but you
kill.
can see that second and third by a wide margin is that Sejuani and the Viego. And even then, the Anivias after that, both the Sion and the Xerath struggling a little bit.
Yeah, and I question Knight's Vow and Fimbulwinder don't provide a lot of AP, but the Negatron Cloak is coming out, so that next item is definitely going to grant some pretty heavy MR. I don't know if Los Riddlers is going to have the damage to get through that Sejuani.
Okay, Xerath just pressed R and hit nothing, so not too sure what that was about.
Yeah. Sejuani and Turkey having a 1v1 in the jungle.
Yeah, at this point, Sejuani is just too tanky for the Renekton. Renekton can kill the Viego pretty easily, but the Anivia and the Sejuani is going to struggle with.
Sion able to pick up the top tier 2. Something going the way of Los Riddlers. They've got the mid tier 2 as well.
This will be the feat of strength, by the way, if they take this dragon, because they got another dragon and the Rift Herald, but maybe Los Riddlers seeing this as their window to go in. Sion going to walk in, try to cancel the base. They're operating on a 2v1 right now. Can Viego clear this wave? Let's see what happens. Sion not going to cancel the bases.
They're going to get their bases down.
Yeah, going to be looking to ult in. Can they take this turret?
Viego holding on. He's going to be able to get the kill into the Xerath. Passive reset, unstoppable, ult over the wall and walks away, but Sejuani and Anivia have arrived.
A really, really nice hold from Happier Cat. Managed to kill the Xerath and survive. No threat of the turret being taken. Maybe Sion could have ulted into the turret instead of trying to drift into the Viego, but ooh, flash over from the Sejuani. Maybe looking for more.
The E-stun comes out, and Turkey's able to just E away. Looks like the 2 remaining members of Riddlers are going to get away. Sejuani really pursuing this kill, though. They're going to back off. A Baron call coming out.
Yeah, they're thinking about Baron. They have a really fast Baron take speed. Anivia ultimate plus those aggressive items from the Viego. They could definitely do this. Once again, Sion and Renekton looking to run it down mid. They opted not to reset. Let's see what the play is here from Soul and Tin. Do they pull off the Baron? I think they have to.
Happier Cat already moving off of it. Anivia basing.
Anivia canceled the base. Must have gotten tagged by the Baron again. This could be the end of the game. Sejuani's still aggroing the Baron for some reason.
There. Sion taking a turret shot. Walks under. Renekton with the Dominus pop.
Wait, what was that? Wait. Oh, they had a double Hull Breaker proc on the inhibitor. I don't know if they timed that on purpose, but yeah, with that, the game will just end.
Yeah, a great call to go down mid there by Los Riddlers.
I don't think that Soul in a Tin was expecting Los Riddlers to both cancel their resets and walk it down mid half health. So well played rotation at the end there by Los Riddlers, but I think even with the loss, we saw a little bit just how annoying Anivia can be in these games.